Welcome to another deep dive, everybody. Today we're going to be talking about humanoid robots.
Ooh,
Are
fun.
they really the future, or are they just kind of clunky and awkward and,
Yeah.
struggling to like walk in a straight line?
Yeah, right.
We're going to be diving into some excerpts from Coin Bureau's video essay. It's called Pasted Text, Robots.
Okay.
So robots building robots.
Okay.
We're going to see if we should be excited or skeptical.
Mm.
And you know what's really interesting?
What's that?
The word robot actually comes from this Czech word,
Okay.
robota, and it means forced labor.
Oh, wow.
It's even related to the word for slave.
That's a really good point because that fear of robots replacing human workers,
Right.
it's been around forever.
It's like we can't shake this feeling that they might turn against us.
Hmm.
Like in that film Metropolis
Yeah.
from 1927 where a robot is used to like manipulate and control the workers.
Exactly. And that fear isn't just in fiction either.
Right.
Remember Isaac Asimov's 3 laws of robotics?
Yeah.
They were supposed to guide like ethical robot behavior, but they really highlighted all of the potential conflicts and paradoxes that
Yeah.
could arise if robots became truly intelligent.
So this whole robots taking over thing,
Yeah.
it's not new. But what about the robots themselves?
Hmm.
We've seen companies like Honda and SoftBank,
Yeah.
try their hand at building humanoids with like Asimo and Pepper.
Right.
They were pretty impressive, but they never really took off.
Yeah, they never really took off, and it really boils down to one problem, and that's cost.
Yeah.
It was just too expensive to produce them,
Yeah.
and they didn't really have enough practical applications to justify the investment,
Right.
you know?
Yeah. And then comes Elon Musk with Tesla's Optimus.
Oh, yeah.
He's claiming that it'll be affordable and capable of doing practically anything.
Well, he's got to say that right.
You have to admit he's gotten everyone buzzing about humanoids again.
He definitely knows how to generate hype. But I think the reason why it's so effective is that he taps into this desire we all have for groundbreaking technology that can solve all our problems.
Mm-hmm.
And it works. Even if the progress with Optimus so far has been a little bit more hype than reality.
It's like he's selling a vision of the future, and people are just buying into it.
Yeah.
But while Musk is focusing on building this general-purpose robot, other companies like Sanctuary AI
Right.
are taking a different approach.
Yeah.
They're arguing that purpose-built robots are more practical for now.
Yeah, and what's interesting about Sanctuary AI is they're actually using humanoids to train AI.
Oh, wow.
It's a totally different way of thinking about it.
Hmm.
They're building what they call large behavioral models
Okay.
by giving robots sensors and letting them interact with the real world.
So instead of like just feeding it a bunch of data,
Mm.
they're giving it a body and just letting it learn like a kid exploring their surroundings.
Exactly. Imagine like a child learning to grasp a toy. They don't just read about it in a book. They try it over and over again.
Right.
They're adjusting their grip each time until they succeed.
Okay.
So that's what Sanctuary AI is doing with robots.
Got it.
This hands-on experience, they believe, is essential for developing true artificial general intelligence, or AGI.
Okay, so that makes sense. But isn't there a problem with training all of these advanced AI models? Don't they require massive amounts of energy?
You're right. The energy consumption is a big concern.
Yeah.
It takes a phenomenal amount of power to train them.
Right.
And as this technology develops, it's going to put a serious strain on our energy grids.
So we have these potentially super intelligent robots, but we might not even be able to keep the lights on long enough to train them.
That's a good point.
But speaking of super intelligent robots, what about the singularity?
Oh, yeah.
You know that moment when AI surpasses human intelligence?
Right.
Is that something that we should actually be worried about?
The singularity is a really fascinating concept.
Yeah.
Some experts believe that it's inevitable, while others think that it's basically just science fiction.
Okay.
To understand it a little bit better, think of it this way.
Okay.
Imagine a chart where human intelligence is like a flat line, and AI intelligence is a line that's slowly rising.
Okay.
The singularity is that point where that AI line just shoots straight up.
Right.
It surpasses human intelligence in a really dramatic and potentially uncontrollable way.
Oh, wow. So it's like this sudden explosion of intelligence.
Yeah.
But what does that actually mean for us? Like, would robots take over the world or something?
That's the big question, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's hard to say for sure.
Right.
Some people believe that it could lead to a utopian future where AI solves all our problems, like from disease to climate change.
Okay.
Others fear it could mean the end of humanity as we know it,
Right.
with AI seeing us as obsolete or a threat.
Mm.
It raises a lot of questions, and to be honest with you, we don't really have many answers yet.
So we're back to this feeling of the unknown again.
Yeah.
of potentially creating something that we don't fully understand.
Right.
But let's bring it back down to earth for a sec.
Okay.
What does all of this mean for us, for like everyday people? Should we be worried about losing our jobs to a bunch of robots?
Well, I think it's important to remember that robots and automation have already been impacting the job market for decades.
Yeah, true.
Think about manufacturing jobs, for example.
Right.
Robots have been replacing human workers on those for years now.
Yeah, that's true.
But when we talk about humanoids, it's a bit different.
Okay.
True AGI, the kind that could replace humans in a wide range of jobs, that's still a long way off.
So it's not like we're going to wake up tomorrow and a robot's going to be doing our jobs.
Right.
But what about the long term? Like, should we be thinking about what skills will be in demand in a future where robots are a lot more prevalent?
Absolutely. It's crucial to consider how this technology could actually reshape the job market.
Yeah.
Some jobs, particularly those that involve repetitive tasks or data analysis,
Mm-hmm.
those are a lot more susceptible to automation.
Okay.
But other jobs, especially those requiring creativity, critical thinking, and emotional intelligence,
Yeah,
those are likely to remain in demand.
that makes sense. It's like we need to adapt and just focus on the skills that make us uniquely human,
Exactly.
but beyond just like the economic impact.
Yeah.
There's also like the ethical side of things.
Right.
If we're creating machines that can think and learn, do we have a responsibility to like treat them ethically?
That's a really important question.
Yeah.
If we create machines that are truly intelligent, do they deserve rights? Should they have the same moral status as humans?
Right.
These are questions that philosophers and ethicists are struggling with right now, and
Yeah.
they're not easy to answer.
So it's like we're entering this whole new territory and we're still trying to figure out the rules.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've talked about like the potential benefits
Right.
and the potential risks of humanoid robots. We've explored the idea of the singularity and like the ethical dilemmas it presents, but where does that leave us? What's the takeaway for our listeners?
I think the key takeaway here is that the future of humanoid robots is still very much unwritten,
Yeah.
and that's both exciting and a little bit daunting.
Right.
It means we have a real opportunity to actually shape how this technology develops and
Okay.
how it's integrated into our society.
So it's not just about like passively observing these advancements.
Right.
It's about actively participating in the conversation.
Exactly.
But how can our listeners do that? How can they be a part of this discussion and help ensure that we're using this technology responsibly?
First and foremost, stay informed.
Okay.
Don't just rely on headlines or sensationalized stories.
Right.
Dig deeper, read articles, watch documentaries, and explore different perspectives. The more you actually understand about this technology, the better equipped you'll be to have informed opinions and actually contribute to the discussion.
That's such an important point. We can't just blindly accept whatever we hear or read.
Right.
We need to critically evaluate the information and form our own conclusion.
Exactly.
But staying informed isn't enough, right?
Yeah.
What else can our listeners do?
Don't be afraid to talk about it.
Okay.
Discuss these issues with your friends, family, and your colleagues.
Yeah.
Share what you're learning, ask questions, and debate the implications.
Mm-hmm.
The more we talk about these things openly and honestly, the better prepared we'll be to navigate the challenges and opportunities that are ahead.
That's so true. We need to have these conversations not just among experts,
Yeah.
but within our own communities.
Yeah.
Because ultimately, the future of humanoid robots isn't something that's going to be decided in a lab or a boardroom.
Right.
It's going to be shaped by all of us.
Exactly. It's a collective responsibility.
Yeah.
We need to think about what kind of future we want to create, what role we want these machines to play in our lives, and what values we actually want to guide their development. This isn't just about robots. This is about the kind of world we want to live in.
It's like we're at a crossroads.
Yeah.
We have this incredibly powerful technology with the potential to really transform our world in huge ways. But it's up to us to decide which path we want to take.
Right.
Do we want a future where robots enhance our lives or one where they replace us?
Right.
Do we want a future of collaboration or competition?
It's a good question.
These are the questions we need to be asking ourselves right now.
And as we wrap up this deep dive, I want to leave you with one final thought.
Okay.
If humanoid robots do become commonplace, what will it mean for the future of work? Will we see mass unemployment, or will new jobs emerge?
Right.
Will we need to rethink our entire economic system? These are questions that we need to start addressing now before it's too late.
That's a powerful thought.
Yeah.
It's a reminder that the future isn't something that just happens to us.
Right.
It's something that we create And the choices we make today will determine the world that we live in tomorrow.
Yeah. It really feels like we're like on the edge of something big here.
I agree. And I think while we've been talking about some, really big, even philosophical questions,
Right.
there are some practical things that you can do like right now to prepare for this future.
Okay, so what can our listeners do to like not just be informed, but like be proactive in shaping this future?
Well, you can start by paying attention to the skills that you're developing.
Okay.
Are you focusing on areas that are uniquely human? Like creativity,
Mm-hmm.
critical thinking,
Yeah.
emotional intelligence. These are the skills that are going to be in high demand in a future where robots can handle, more of the routine tasks.
So it's not about competing with robots. It's about focusing on what we do best
Exactly.
as humans.
Yeah.
But what about those who are in jobs that are more susceptible to automation?
Right.
What advice would you give them?
I would say don't panic, but don't be complacent either.
Be proactive about learning new skills, exploring different career paths, and adapting to the changing job market.
Mm.
Remember, technology has always disrupted the workforce,
Right.
but it's also created new opportunities. Think about the internet, for example.
Yeah.
It wiped out some jobs, but it created countless others that we couldn't have even imagined before.
That's a great point.
Yeah.
It's about being adaptable and just embracing the possibilities that come with, this new technology.
Exactly. And I think one of the most important things you can do is stay engaged in the conversation.
Okay.
Don't just sit back and let others decide how this technology is developed and used.
Mm-hmm.
Get involved, share your thoughts, and advocate for the future that you want to see.
So what are some concrete ways that our listeners can get involved?
Well, you can start by supporting organizations that are working on responsible AI development.
Okay.
You can also contact your elected officials and let them know that you care about how this technology is being regulated. And of course, you can continue to learn, discuss, and debate these issues with, your friends, family, and community.
Yeah.
The more we talk about it, the better prepared we'll be to make informed decisions about our future.
This deep dive has really opened my eyes to the complexities of this topic.
Yeah.
It's not just about robots, it's about us. It's about humanity
Right.
and our place in a world that's, becoming increasingly technological.
It's about recognizing that the future isn't predetermined.
Yeah.
It's something that we create together.
Right.
And by staying informed, engaged, and proactive, we can actually help shape a future where technology serves humanity, not the other way around.
That's a great note to end on.
Yeah.
So to our listeners, we encourage you to keep exploring, keep questioning, and, keep those minds engaged because the future is in our hands. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive.